Healing and recovering from my prolapse, my pelvic floor physical therapist was really great to help with internal stuff, but Pilates, specifically Pilates Reformer, was what really helped me load and move and maneuver my body with breath in all different spaces and places of life. So, you guys know my story. If you've listened for a while, it took me 4 physical therapists until I could finally find one who was comfortable working with someone as pregnant and with as severe of a prolapse as me. But I did hire a Pilates trainer who's done it for like 20 or 30 years, an absolute expert in pelvic floor and Pilates. And I mean, it literally changed how I integrate strength training in my everyday life now. If you're struggling to find and feel abdominal engagement in the lower transverse abdominals, it looks like this. If you have a good connection, there's a wrapping and a connection that occurs from the bottom and to the top lastly. So it's like a zipper. And oftentimes this can be a really tough, tender spot to create engagement, but you need to be doing 2 things to create better engagement down there. Number 1, you need more mobility in the low back, the low spine, and the pelvis. Number 2, you need to start adding inner thigh exercises with your core exercises. So your inner thighs will help to create and connect that lower transverse abdominal engagement. Posterior and posterior pelvic tilt will help to create abdominal engagement in those lower transverse abdominals. It's an exhale as you think about curling your low spine, lifting your pubic bone towards your belly button on the exhale, because the exhale is going to help wrap and engage the abdominals. And then an inhale to create some mobility. You can even lift those hips all the way up onto an elevated surface, and you'll get a little bit more range of motion. You'll also get a little more engagement out of those glutes and inner thighs that helps to support the pelvis. Just try to keep that spine on a nice plane. Inhale, exhale, articulate that low spine as the lower abdominals wrap, keeping those knees in line with the hips. Sometimes we'll want to bow outward to keep that engagement into the inner thighs and the low abdominals. Knees stay. In a side plank, 1 foot down supported, exhale. Lift this leg, will engage your inner thigh and those lower transverse abdominals. To get a little more, you can take a ball and just get some good cross-body connection from the upper abdominals. So working on improving that rib flare and the activation of the upper abdominals, and you don't even have to do that. This is enough. You want to avoid the opening of the top hip, keeping those hips stacked. You just had one 10 minutes ago. You just had one. You just had one. Look at this little guy. That guy's chain little necklace on. What does he look like? Sure. Okay. Make sure you finish all.
Just see those sleigh bells jingle and ring, tingle, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather.
Chestnuts roasting on an open